It's kind of obvious that I haven't streamed in a while. I was slightly confused on how this worked. But hey, welcome. The hell. I've just got to. Whoa. I just gotta make a quick post there on the social media, letting people know what's going on. So I'll just do that right now. Happy New Year, Joshua. Welcome to the stream, and let's hope this year is as how do I say, awesome as this one. You know, people like you making all of this possible. I just gotta take a picture for the gram. Making this year this incredible as incredible as it was. The channel performed very well. We had new projects, we had old projects come back. We got a podcast now. Hi Reaper, I'll be I'm terrible at this. I haven't slept a lot this weekend, so I'm just letting the people know that I am live right now, so we can have all of you lovely folks come in, which as many of you as I can get. These streams and everything. Not everybody is used to the live streams because I haven't done them in a while. I think the last one was holy shit, months and months ago. I kind of got busy with schoolwork and everything in between, but now I've upgraded my setup. I am now in full HD. Let's compare this to my previous camera. Hi, this is Lo-Fi Spooky. I'm missing some little beats, some beats by Dre, and this is High Definition Spooky. You can really see the bags under my eyes and my red eyes and my lack of shaving off my facial hair, which is something. And you can see the scratches that my cat did to my seat. Yeah, she has a tendency to jump on the seat and be very excited. You looked jaundice? No, I'm just very white and I don't go outside a lot. Also, it could be the reflection of my camera. But yeah. Woo. We've got a new setup, we've got new people. And today the stream, I just wanted to, I'm only missing one crucial part of the streaming setup, and that's a way to charge the light on top of my camera, because right now it's battery powered and it'll probably die, and I kind of need a light because I have also a shitty lens on this specific camera. Not to go too much into technical details, but it's not good in low light, blah 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 blah. I don't know. I have plenty of good lenses. I have plenty of good camera equipment. It's just I decided to take one of my cameras just for the stream. So I have now a HD webcam. So if ever I have online classes, which I don't really do anymore, I'll look beautiful. I'll also use this for my podcast with little Dara, little Urshel Gillis, the lad. Oh yeah, my old camera makes me look yeah, cause usually when I use that camera, I didn't use a light. So I just had the light from the monitor, but since I have like an actual lens and everything, an actual sensor, I now need lights. Happy New Year, Vagelis, the OG, the man who's been there since holy shit whenever I came back a long time ago. Happy New Year. Let's hope to more success, more fun, more videos. I'm back with reviews this week. Tuesday, regular schedule. Just last week, I didn't have the time to do a review, so I did a little update. Hope you guys liked it anyways. This week, it's gonna be, spoiler alert for everybody, as a treat for you guys. Oh yes, it'll be sleazy. As a treat for everybody here, a spoiler, I'm covering Splatter Naked Blood in my next review. We are back on the Isayasu Sato grind. Me and my collection. I've already... Oh shit, guys. I've already... My collection. You're talking about my collection. I've already made terrible financial decisions. And like, the year just started. I bought this. The Made for Hong Kong Volume 1, which I think there's like two Hong Kong films that are Cat 3s. So I'm already in shit. I'm already financially ruined. Cause I love myself. Yeah, it's The Demons Baby, Erotic Nightmare, and The Deadly Camp, and that's nudity. I can't show that on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you, Vinegar Syndrome. But yeah, they're I think one of them as Anthony Wong from, of course, Ebola Syndrome and The Untold Story, which are both films I'll eventually covered. As of now, I think the only Cat 3 I covered on my channel was Dr. Lamb. Shoutouts to Unearthed Films. Yeah, this year I got connections. I got screeners this year, so that was fun. Cyclops. Yeah, I'll get to Cyclops. It's been a while since I wanted to talk about that one. But I think I'll cover Organ before covering Cyclops, just because I have a physical copy of Organ now, and I prioritize things that I have an actual physical copy, just because the quality is better. Even if it's a DVD, like, the quality is still better than like the screen recording from like YouTube, which is what I do with like that Japanese Things ripoff that Vegalis recommended me. Kuzu. It's been a while, but yeah. So 3 MVD is having huge synapse cells. Oh yeah, Joshua bought a lot of Nikatsu titles, which I did too. Not during a sale, because being Canadian, that sale, even though it's a sale, it's probably gonna be way too expensive for a poor Canadian like me. But I did, in the convention, I did get a lot of Synapse. I love their Nikatsu line. I think it's wonderful, and I think they should get... I'm not even sure if it still like exists, because I know they're still in print, but I'm not sure if they still do that line. If they do, and if somebody from Synapse is watching, we need more Isayasu Sato. We need more of the Satman. The man's a legend. How was your day? Mine was full of drinks. Mine was waking up, going to brunch with my family, and then doing nothing. Actually, I just watched Tim Ritter's Truth or Dare. That was a pretty fun movie. Bit long at points, but it was quite entertaining. It was my first experience with Tim Ritter film. That was I think I talked about it in my last update. I got that for Christmas. The DVD quality was awful, but the movie was really good, really fun. It's released by SRS Cinema now, and it's a good little flick. It's a very typical slasher, but in every, but that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing, and it does get pretty wild and wacky at the end. There might be other things from Knives in that one. The Horror Geek, everyone. Welcome, Mike. Happy New Year to you too. Hope your 2023 will be as, I don't know, as lucrative. I don't know. With the YouTube policy changes, I'll be surprised. But, yeah. Fucking YouTube's is getting even worse for like people who cover the type of shit I cover. But I think with my channel size, YouTube doesn't seem to care. My only video that got demonetized recently was my podcast with the Sick on Cinema guys, and I think it's just because fucking Matt said fuck. And my Streets of Death review got demonetized after I uploaded the thumbnail because there's ass in that thumbnail. And then I tried to change the thumbnail and it was still demonetized, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'll put the ass back in. And I think that video got like 2,000 views in 3 days. So monetization or ass in the thumbnail, always take the ass in the thumbnail. But you know, I'm not at Mike's level right now, so it's not really like I'm not making a living out of this. Let's just say that. I'm just doing this for fun. Working hard, trying hard, getting hard. Everything. So yeah, today's live stream topic, I'll go to my IMDb because yes, some of us don't have Letterboxd. I think I have a Letterboxd. I'm just too lazy to put everything over. I don't want to re-rate anything. I like my IMDb, okay. I don't like that it doesn't have dark mode, which I actually have a mod that mods IMDb to put it dark mode. Look, IMDb dark mode, which is what we're all here for. IMDb should have a dark mode integrated, but they don't because the site's from 1995 and I don't think it has changed ever since. Vagelis, I'll get to those. I already recorded the video and edited it, so it's gonna be Splatter Naked Blood. It's Japanese, it's got blood, it doesn't got sex, which is weird because it's an Isayasu Sato movie, but I talk about that during my video. Well, there is sex in Splatter Naked Blood, it's just not as explicit or vulgar as we say. Yeah, so this year I watched 16 movies from 2022, which doesn't sound like a lot. For me, it's actually quite a lot, because I usually, if we compare it to, I think, last year I watched 14, and in 2020 I watched 7 movies of that particular year. So that's saying something. So as you guys probably could have guessed, I'm not the biggest fan of like things that like just came out. Like especially modern horror. If you've been here before, you know my reaction to the Smile trailer. This kind of became a meme on my channel, which I'm kind of curious now about Smile because I've heard good things, but to me it just sounds like It Follows, but more mainstream. Which is, It Follows is a masterpiece. A PG-13 made for wide audiences. It Follows, not as much. But yes, these are the movies I've watched this year. I'll go through them one by one. And the reason why I watch so many newer films, it follows sucks in my opinion. Well, your opinion is wrong. Uh, um, the reason why I watch so many new films is because I went to a festival. I went to Fantasia, which I usually try to do. The 2 last years it wasn't in person, and I didn't give a fuck. I did go this year. I watched the worst movie that came out this year over there, and I also watched, well, what is one of my favorites. My favorite is obvious at this point. I gave it too low of a rating, so I'll just put that higher. Yeah. My ratings, by the way, they make no sense. It's just whatever I'm feeling. Because honestly, ratings, kind of a dumb concept. That's why I don't give ratings in my videos. I just, I just live, laugh, love. So without further ado, what movies did I watch? So it goes in like, I don't know what's the order, but the last movie I watched from 2022, it's Bullet Train. Now, Bullet Train, we won't go into too much details. Bullet Train's a fun movie. It's well made. It's a Hollywood blockbuster with a little edge. A little edge for a Hollywood blockbuster. Nothing special. Nothing bad. A decent movie. I gave it a 7 out of 10. And I think that's where it belongs. Nothing more, nothing less. Meh. It's okay. Now, this is my favorite movie of the year. Of course, it's predictable. I talked about this movie way too much. It's X by Ty West. Do I need to even explain myself? I guess I do, because in like the mainstream, I hate to say that, but like in the mainstream horror community, this is divisive somehow. Like every A24 movies, which that cult of A24 is strange, and that cult of A24 haters is also strange. I'm firmly planted in the middle. I think they made some good movies, I think they made some bad movies, but they're just a studio. It's about the movie at the end of the day. And X by Ty West, which I'm also biased because Ty West is one of my favorite directors, but X was a wonderful throwback to proto slashers of the early 70s. Mia Goth did an amazing job playing two characters. I didn't even know she played the old lady when I first saw this movie. I never knew. My friend Paul told me. The acting was incredible. The kills was pretty, it was decently gory. The characters were great. I loved this chick and this dude were amazing. These guys, like everything about this movie I loved. This wannabe filmmaker that just does porn because that's all he can do. It represents the time where this is, at the 70s very well, because a lot of our favorite directors did start in porn, did start their careers in porn, so I thought that was a nice touch. This one who becomes, a porn star at the end of the day, the old lady, that poster is so goddamn beautiful. I love this movie. I loved this movie. Jenna Ortega, which is now in the mainstream eye because of that Wednesday show. Good job. Everybody did a great job in this film. The direction is beautiful. The set, the set design, the and it's just a great movie. Looking forward, Infinity Pool by Brendan Cronenberg. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. Pearl. Pearl was good. It wasn't as good. I think it was a great how do I say it? It was a great prequel. You know, it explained the character. It was more of a drama, which I don't mind. I actually thought it was a better drama than it was a horror movie, but ultimately, due to personal preferences, I preferred X, and I feel like some people are divided. They either preferred X, preferred Pearl. It all depends on your personal what you prefer. Because I'm more of a early 70s proto slasher guy. Pearl was more of a, I don't really know. Like I said, I don't really describe Pearl as a horror movie. IMDb said it is, but it's not. It's just a good character study of a woman going insane due to being lonely. It's a great movie about loneliness. Yeah. Ty West did 2 amazing movies in 1 year. Well, he did amazing movies during his entire career, but I'm glad he's finally getting recognition. Oh, now this one is a spicy meatball. Terrifier 2. Of course, I saw this. I had. Yeah, it was more exactly It's exactly that. It was drama thriller. A good one, but you know, it's just I prefer the straight up horror things. Terrifier 2. Now, my first impression, I love this movie. I haven't seen it since. I did buy it because I had credit on like YouTube movies. First impression, amazing movie. A contender for my favorite one of the year, that's for sure. It has a lot of issues. It's way too long. It looks cheap. I mean the film quality. It looks like a modern film that was shot on like a consumer professional camera, kind of like the camera I shoot my videos on. Visually, just like the first one, nothing impressive. Acting wise, just like the first one, okay. It's all in the main character and, of course, the killer clown, which is why we're watching this movie, and the gore. Does does gore make a movie better? Depends on the movie, and I think that Terrifier 2, the gore made that movie better. A lot of things made what would have been a okay movie a lot better. The strange backstory, the strange paranormal aspect, I actually really liked. That was a problem that a lot of people had. I really liked it. Because it's a slasher, and it follows in the footsteps of a lot of other slasher, except this time they kind of explain to you that it's paranormal and it's just weird. Unlike other slashers who are like, yeah, the character doesn't die. We don't know why, but he doesn't. That kid actor, shit. He was probably the worst part of that film. I can't show any of the thumbnails, but our leading lady did pull a lot. She was, her and Art the Clown and that weird girl kind of saved that movie. I'll go see the third one. I think it's a series that I seem to enjoy more and more, because like I said in my review, the first Terrifier was a middle of the road, like a 6 out of 10. But the films before Terrifier, however, were much better than Terrifier, the anthology films. I did watch them recently, and again, they're nothing special. The highlights are definitely the special effects, which of course, that explains a lot. Because Damien Leone, the director, was SFX artist, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Special effects. Yep. So that makes sense why. But I have to respect the fact that this was shown into movie theaters. So you had, and I think it opened like during like Smile too. So you had like mainstream jump scare films and fucking copious, bloody, disgusting, horrendous things put on screen. Which I can't I can't wait to see the reaction of the TikTok generation of that. I can't believe I watched Terrifier 2. Oh, Terrifier 2, I got spooked. Oh, it was disturbing. Not as much as Megan is missing, but pretty darn close. Joshua is meeting Damien Leone and the Terrifier cast. Oh, that's pretty cool. Like I said, I like the cast other than that young fella who, in my opinion, holy shit. Again, he's a kid. So you have to, 2.5 hour. Yeah, the goddamn runtime. I mean, a movie like X or, Pearl, that makes sense. It's like an hour for 45. There was a lot of slow things that lead to, shit happening. Terrifier 2, 2.5 hours? Holy shit. Like, there is a lot of world building, but man, there's a lot of things that could have been cut out. Speaking of controversial, Christmas, blah, how many Terrifiers? Well, it's a franchise. It's probably they're gonna make as many as we have. We have 13 Friday the 13th films. We have 12 Halloween films. We have 4 Hatchet films. We have 5 Scream films. It's a franchise. They're gonna make a shit ton. And I'm all in for it. We haven't had a good franchise horror series in a while. Like Hatchet was the closest one, but they kind of stopped making them. They had Victor Crowley for a while. They're gonna make a lot, and I'm happy for that. Nobody complains that there's fucking 12 Halloween films and that 3 of them are good and the rest are from mediocre to shit. Anyways, I watched Christmas Bloody Christmas by Joe Bigos. Controversial take. Urshel, if you're watching this, which you're probably not because you haven't bullied me yet. Love you, Urshel. He hated this movie. A lot of people I know hate this movie. They're like, and their main point is that the dialogue, there's too much swearing, which why? By the way, people saying that are the same people who enjoy Rob Zombie movies and like gutter balls. If you're complaining that the language is too much in Christmas Bloody Christmas, but you give positive reviews to gutter balls, kind of being selective. But yes, as someone who doesn't like Rob Zombie movies, a lot of the same issues that I have with those movies, I have with this one. However, I didn't mind the main character. She kind of has that syndrome of, being hip and making references, which I don't like in any movie. I'm not a big fan of people trying to be Quentin Tarantino and just putting a shit ton of pop culture references. But at the end of the day, the main reason I watched this film was for the killer Terminator robot Santa Claus. And that's exactly what I got. And the parts where there was a Terminator like killer Santa Claus were great. I didn't mind the main characters. The fact that their sexual tension actually wound up to something is a breath of fresh air. As a breath of fresh air. The dynamic between coworkers was actually kind of realistic from my experience. I don't know. I like this one. Not all. Devil's Reject is actually a good movie, which is the issue with Rob Zombie. Devil Rejects was so good, but the man can't make another good movie to save his life. He peaked at his second one. Oh boy, it's another. So 2022 has been, let's just say the horror of 2022 has been divisive, to say the least. And this one was also a divisive one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Straight to Netflix. Came out February, which is the perfect month for releasing movies. Yet, it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. I'm gonna say right now, right here in Canada, the TCM remake, not the worst thing that came out this year. Was it good? No. Was it in the same vein as most TCM movies? Texas Chainsaw Hot take incoming. Ding ding ding. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 2, maybe 3 good movies in that franchise. And this one was just another one. Were the characters shit and were the characters annoying? Yes. It's a modern day slasher. Was the concept weird that a bunch of people are buying houses in a ghost town in bum shit nowhere, Texas, to put coffee shops and like hipster things in them? No, it didn't. Was it just a setup to have a higher body count because the only good thing was the special effects? Yes. So yes, hot take. Hot take. TCM, Netflix. Wasn't that bad. I've seen worst Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. The roundup, again, this is one I won't go too much into details. It was a Korean action film, a lot of comedy. It's this guy, and apparently it's a sequel to something. This guy, big tough guy, punches people, punches criminals. Honestly, a pretty awesome movie. Taking everything into account, this was definitely a highlight this year. I'd watch it again. I hope it gets released in North America. I'm not sure if it will or if it already has. But yeah, a kick-ass action movie, Korean, directed by Sang-won Lee, who I haven't seen anything from him, apparently. And yeah, it's funny too. That bus scene was dumb. I guess it's kind of, I guess tonight I'm feeling, a little, I'm feeling a little honest tonight, people, and honestly, yeah, that bus scene was dumb. Like most scenes in slasher films. Slasher films aren't slash slasher films are dumb. There's a lot of dumb things that happen in slasher films, and that's why you have that's how you have the body count. Need I remind people that in Halloween 2 there's somebody that crashes somewhere and this car explodes? Anyways, I just personally feel like we're very selective on what we decide to criticize when it comes to, slasher films. I don't know. I do the same, though. I admit, I do the same. We all do that. I'm just saying. There's been dumber scenes in slasher movies. The entire 90s were dumb slasher films. And I hate them all, so you might be on you might be onto something. Cheers, man. Cheerio. Jackass Forever. Again, I'll go through this one quickly because I think this one, it's pretty self-explanatory. I grew up with Jackass. I'm a man of the post-music video MTV. Which, by the way, I grew up in the era of MTV where people were like, put music videos back on. Which for the time kind of made sense because YouTube wasn't as mainstream. But as soon as the internet was a thing, as soon as easy access to internet was a thing, put music videos back on? Really, dude? It's kind of like the modern day radio. Really, you're gonna make me listen to songs you pick in the order you want to be? It's like, oh, MTV was much cooler when they had blocks of music videos. How about I listen to the music I want when I want? And I don't let a soulless corporation choose my music taste. Yeah, exactly. Everybody has their own taste in horror movie. Yeah, so like exactly. A lot of people will, I do the same. There's like Christmas, Bloody Christmas I loved, but I hate like all of Rob Zombie's movies almost. And like it's a pretty similar film. Anyways, enough picking on Hey, I have to pick on people. She's the only one that's stalking. Jackass Forever. My least favorite from the 4 movies, but it makes sense. The guys are getting old. Their bodies have been abused by multiple things. From, years of jackass to drug addiction. It makes sense that it wasn't, as out there as the first 3 films. And it did, hit the feels. It did. I think I shed a tear at the end. It's just because, it's nostalgia. I grew up with these guys. I thought they were dumb when I was a kid. I was kind of a snobbish kid. Everybody was talking about them. I'm like, that's just people hurting themselves. It's not that funny. And then I grew up and was like, yes, I love seeing people hurt themselves, and it is funny. And also the pranks in public. That Bad Grandpa movie is still hilarious to me. And no, it did have the nostalgic jackass feel. I'll take any of the 3 movies over this one. But that's just me. And that's just a theory. A game theory. Oh boy. Oh. 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 Now, if you've listened to the last podcast that I did with the Sick on Cinema guys, or if you've been around my social media in the past year, you know that there is one movie from this year, from 2022, from last year, that I despise with every fiber of my being. What I consider to be the worst piece of shit. Insult to horror, insult to filmmaking, insult to comedy. And that is Glorious. Now, as somebody that makes internet content surrounding horror, sometimes you have to make pretend to get on somebody's good side. Especially when that person runs one of the only, one of the most successful horror podcasts. And that person also has aspiring filmmaking thingies. But the issue is, I don't care because we don't hang around the same people, so I'll say it. Rebecca McKendry, you're a shit director. That's a shit director. Did she write it? If she did. Okay, so she didn't write it at least. So Todd Rainey, Joshua Hole, and David Ian McKendry. Why was there 3 people writing this piece of shit? 3 writers, 2 brain cells. So the concept is, a man breaks up with his wife. He was driving around. He stops at a rest stop. He gets locked inside. There's a talking glory hole. And then the worst attempt at Lovecraftian horror ensues. So the movie's short. It's an hour 20. Still too long. Because I'm not kidding. The first hour of this shit tier movie is literally a build-up to a gay joke. You see the glory hole, voiced by J.K. Simmons. What a waste of talent. And what a waste of money. You really had to pay him what he's worth for this type of shit. And on the other hand, JK, if you have money issues, there are solutions other than lending your voice to what was probably the shittiest script in the last 5 years. If you want money, I'll send you $5. So basically, the glory hole needs a sacrifice. He needs a part of our main character's body. So what they do is, for an hour or so, they extend the joke because the man is not gay. He doesn't want to put his penis in the glory hole. That would be a gay. So he doesn't. Until, he can't handle it anymore. And he does. And then the talking glory hole is like, no, what are you doing? I wanted a piece of your liver. If this was a semi-competent attempt at filmmaking, this would have been a 15-minute short. This was a short film that was extended to an hour 20. And most of the movie is a dumb joke about a glory hole. Now, this wouldn't have been as bad if it didn't get a semi-positive reaction, which is what made me the angriest. Because I saw it at the Fantasia Film Festival, and I had a good day until then. I had a fun day, you know. I watched one great movie and one pretty good movie. And then I sit down and I hear people laugh. And it's a full house. It's a full house. Everybody's there for Rebecca McKendry's first feature film. And they laugh and they applaud. Other than me and Paul, nobody seemed to realize how shitty this movie truly was. This is an excruciatingly painful watch. I wouldn't recommend it to my worst enemy. This movie's dog shit. It honestly ruined my festival. I think the next time I had, screenings to attend, I went to like one movie and I was like, I want to go home. So like my last day at the festival, which I was supposed to stay until midnight to watch their midnight screening of Deadly Spawns, I just left at 5 because I was so fucking... Ugh. This movie's awful. The CGI, the sad, pathetic attempt at CGI in this movie. This movie, for anybody who joined me, the sad, pathetic attempt at CGI. I was better at doing CGI when I was 14 on After Effects. This was an insultingly terrible movie. It takes the audience for idiots. It takes its character for morons. It's absurdly, terribly written. It sucks ass. And I fucking hated it. And it's a Shudder exclusive. If I had Shudder, after I saw this piece of shit, I would have cancelled Shudder. Shudder's having difficulty with finances. Might be because you wasted your money on this piece of shit movie. And you know what? Because you greenlit this piece of shit, I hope Shudder goes down. Tubi's better anyway. It's free, and the movies are probably the same. How much did this piece of shit cost? They won't say it. Nah, can't see it. It got an R in Egypt. What? Anyways, this movie sucked ass. Moving on. Oh yeah, Jackass 4.5. It was a documentary. It was okay. Wasn't great. Wasn't bad. Pretty much okay. Oh, Dario Argento. So this was also at the Fantasia, but I didn't watch it there. So this is Dario Argento's throwback to when he was good, which was the 70s. Yeah, this was an attempt at bringing back Argento's Gialli. And for modern Argento, this was probably his best film in a long while. I'm not really familiar with his newer films and his 90s stuff. Like I said, I like Argento in a very specific decade, the 70s, and even then, I like his movies. Most of them very underwhelming for me. But this was, you take what you have, right? Lucio Fulci's dead. Mario Bava's been dead since the 80s. Lamberto Bava, still alive, doesn't make movies. Ruggero Deodato, 83, just died. So if you're a fan of old school Italian horror, we pretty much only have Argento left. Bruno Mattei died. Shit. Everybody's dead. They're all dying. It's the spaghetti. Rest in peace, Ruggero. That was actually pretty sad because it was my first time that I was, that I'm following the horror stuff, and that was like my first experience with one legend dying. Rest in peace. So we have Dario. We've got Fragasso and the. Yes, actually, we do. We do still have. Thank you, Mike. So, if you're a fan of old school Italian cinema, Claudio Fragasso, Dario Argento, and Rudy are your only hope. And I don't want to be mean to Fragasso because he thinks that he made a masterpiece. He thinks that Night Killer is a masterpiece, and Troll 2 too. But you're not Dario Argento. Do I get more enjoyment out of Claudio Fragasso films than I do Argento? That you may never know. That will be my hottest take ever. You can burn yourself on that take. But yeah. So for what this was, it was old school Argento. There was an interesting concept. A lady goes blind after a serial killer, somebody that's killing people, is trying to murder her. She adopts a dog, and in typical blind woman dog Italian fashion, the dog will save the day. Spoiler alert. But if you've seen The Beyond and Suspiria, you know what this is gonna be. It's a giallo. It's a murder mystery. You don't know who the murderer is. You kind of have to guess. You have some clues there, which makes it rewatchable. I'd watch it again. At the end of the day, I was kind of underwhelmed at the end of the film. But Argento is what, like 83, 85? For a man born in 1940, this was a pretty good movie. And especially considering his run, his past decade. If you're an Argento fan, you'll appreciate this one for what it is. Don't expect Suspiria, because even in his prime, he did Suspiria, and he tried to, catch that again, but that was how do you say, lighting in a bottle. But don't expect a new Suspiria, and don't expect a deep red. It's a fun, decent giallo film from the maestro himself, Argento. So, another surprising, very surprising film that I saw this year, again at the festival. One that I can see, it's got mixed reviews. I assume the bad reviews are probably gonna be dumb. How do you see reviews? Not dumb, but anyways. It's just because IMDb reviews are always, this movie was bad because it was bad, or you have people writing paragraphs. So I was kind of curious. So All Jacked Up and Full of Worms by Alex Phillips. This also played at Fantasia to a crowd of almost nobody. Which was the most depressing thing ever. Also, I did catch this second screening. This was depressing because that night that night was Glorious Night, and that was full. So this played in their underground section at Fantasia, and it is considered more underground. I don't think a lot of people know this film. I don't think it got distribution. This is a weird one. If you want more details, I did do a complete review on this film. It's amazing. It's visually striking. It's very strange. There's no real plot. The plot is just you're following these strange, weird, absurd characters in their absurd lives. The closest thing I can compare this one to would be The Greasy Strangler. It does have that kind of same dialogue, same dialect, same feel as that one. It's a absurdist, out of left field comedy. You'll either love it or hate it, and I think that's the main thing that I take away. I did get a comment on my review calling me a shill and an edgelord for liking this film. I was pretty drunk, and I deleted that comment because I was drunk and I didn't want to debate that person, and I wanted to call him an idiot. But that's something you can't do when you do this, apparently, because then they call you salty, which I was, but I was also pretty drunk. Anyways, All Jacked Up and Full of Worms. It's awesome. Highly recommended. Hypochondriac. Now this is one that I've watched. This one was forgettable. This was after All Jacked Up and Full of Worms, but after I finished Glorious. Okay, so this movie got better when I finished watching Glorious. When the Glorious credit popped up, I was like, you know what? Hypochondriac wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good. Secret is to reply what you want and then tell them your channel muting them. And I could have, but I was way too intoxicated, and I was just like, hey, fuck are you? And then I deleted this comment. So Hypochondriac, from director, I actually want to tell, his name. Addison Hyman? Funny. Ayman? I don't know, I'm French. I'm sure it's not Ayman, though. I'm sure nobody's named Ayman. It's forgettable. I'm trying to okay, so what I didn't like about this film, it should have ended way before it actually ended. I think it's also pretty long, an hour 37. Okay, it's not that long. So it should have ended way before. There was three scenes that I was like, holy shit, that's the perfect ending for this film, You're ending on kind of a cliffhanger, and then it kept going, and then it kept going, and I was like, holy shit, just end already. Hey Dirks, Happy New Year. So the movie's good. It's I guess you can call it queer cinema. I just call it a movie. It's about this man. He's insane. He's a crazy. You know, he has a few mental issues because his father or mother, his mother was quite insane. She tried to kill his father, I think, and she tried to kill him. She was also off of her rockers. So you know, he has some childhood trauma about that. Then whatever, we cut when he's an adult, and you know, he's in this what seems to be, you know, good relationship. He has a job. He's a creative type. And then he starts getting mail from his mom. That's supposedly, I don't remember if she's dead or just in an insane asylum. I think she's supposed to be dead. And he starts getting these letters, and then that sends him into a breakdown where he hallucinates these little fellas. These very what's that fucking Donnie Darko type characters. It's a good psychological horror. It's an okay movie. I'd say it's middle of the road. It looks like a modern movie. That kind of tries to be artistic. Like it looks good. It's a good looking film. There's some good shots. The composition, it's anamorphic. It's well shot. It's well directed. The characters are really nice. Actually, the characters are probably a highlight. And yeah, there's drugs. It's a good movie. I liked it. This is one that, like, it's a rewatch. I'd rewatch it on like an afternoon. It's like a perfect like Sunday afternoon movie. The Fight Machine. Oh, that was also quite a surprising film. Now, this is a very low budget Canadian boxing fighting movie, I guess sports movie. As you can see, 26 people gave it a rating. So let's just say it might not be the most mainstream film ever. It's directed by Andrew Thomas Hunt, who I'm not familiar with. He directed 3 movies. The Fight Machine, Spare Parts, and Sweet Karma. I think all of those played in Horrorama. Oh, this doesn't look too bad. Anyway, so it's a sports film, a fighting sports film. It is predictable. It is a very predictable. It's very Canadian. It's clearly there was somebody looking for financing from Canadian, the Canadian Fund of Art or whatever, because it has actors from Ontario, it has actors from Quebec, you know, and it's shot in Niagara Falls, like, and it's about a Canadian thing. It's about a young man whose father and mother own a winery, a winery in Ontario, in Niagara Falls. Shout out to Ontario Wines. But he's kind of rebelling and he wants to get into fighting. And then on the other end, on the other side of the pond, in Buffalo, because it happens in Niagara Falls, you have this Irish family who are fighters, and the kid is a good fighter, but he doesn't want to be a fighter. He, I think, wants to write or do shit like that, but he's too good at fighting. Anyways, those two meet each other in a very weird circumstance, and it's your typical, very typical action sport film. It's not amazing, it's not bad, it's actually pretty well shot. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Ironside, playing the kind of Mikey and like Rocky, the coach. it's it's a decent movie. It's I gave it a 6 out of 10, and I think that's the rating it deserves. We're already we're already at 15. I only have 2 movies left to talk about, and this one won't be long because it's fucking Doll Fluids, which I've reviewed personally on my channel. Which that reminds me, I haven't rated Jack's new film, Split. There's also one I saw in 2022. I did a review for that one. Sorry, Jack. It's a 7. I'm not rating the White Gardenia part. Anyways, yeah, Dirks. I think you told me he sent you the file. Anyways, you saw my review. I think Doll Fluids was amazing. Shows Jack's talent very well. It's the perfect length. I do think his newer films are a bit too long, but it's this was a this was a great one. Yeah, the cover art is pretty cool. It will get you your post deleted on Instagram though. But it didn't get my fucking video demonetized. Doll Fluids is a good movie. Highly recommended. Plus, don't believe IMDb. Doll Fluids is 11 minutes long. It's a great short film. If you buy the DVD, you get Jack's earlier short films, which I recommend you do. And I recommend you check out Split 2, which was his latest collaboration with Daniel White Gardenia. And I will cover his latest short film, Scarlet Piss Princess. Which, good luck having monetization on that fucking thing. Finally, for my watch, there's nudity, god damn it, IMDb. For my watches of this year, and I actually end on again, one of my favorite that I've seen this year, and it's a documentary about the great late Jean Rollin, which surprisingly my video on Jean Rollin did very well, which is pretty exciting, you know, because I'm planning my my Jess Franco video, because yes, that's still a thing that's gonna be coming out eventually. Believe me, it is. I'm just a busy boy. I have to put a video out every week, and then I have to watch movies, and I have school, and then I have work, and I have podcast, and then I do these streams. I'm a busy boy. I'm a busy little boy. Who's a busy little boy? I am. Huge influence on my art, dude. Jean Rollin. If I ever do another short film, it's an inspiration for me. I saw a short film on a compilation of short films from a festival in Montreal, which was clearly inspired by Rollin. Rollin was a master of filmmaking. He was one of the best exploitation film directors of the 70s. As you guys know, I do have a bias towards Euro exploitation films. But Jean Rollin is right up there with Jess Franco as my favorite Euro exploitation, Euro cult cinema. And this is so funny. This is a behind the scene picture, and this is so French of the 70s. Just smoking their pipe, smoking their cigarettes, you know, chilling with the camera. Like, that's a vibe. That's a vibe. That passes the vibe check. So yeah, and it was produced by Arrow, which I hope it does get a release. Brigitte Lahaye, yeah. Brigitte Lahaye could resurrect a dying man. So I hope it'll come out. Some scenes, because you know it goes through how do you say it? The interviews are in different countries, different parts of the world. So some interviews are well produced, and some of them are shittily produced. That Brigitte Lahaye interview is good because she's there talking about Rollin. Quality wise, it sounds like ass. It sounds like shit, piss, and cum. But the documentary is good for anybody who's interested in Rollin and in Euro exploitation, because they do cover other people that were around at the time. But yeah, rest in peace, Jean Rollin. There's a special place in heaven for you. Anyways, so yeah, that was all the films I've seen this year. I guess I could tell you my ratings. Bullet Train, 7 out of 10. X, 9 out of 10. Pearl, 7 out of 10. Terrifier 2, 7 out of 10. Christmas, Bloody Christmas, 6 out of 10. TCM, a 4 out of 10. Roundup, 7 out of 10. Jackass Forever, 7 out of 10. Glorious, 2 out of 10. It should be lower. Jackass 4.5, a solid 6. Dark Glasses, or whatever Dario's new movie's called, a 6 out of 10. All Jacked Up and Full of Worms, that's an 8. Hypochondriac, that's a 6. The Fight Machine, that's a 6. Doll Fluids, that's a 7. And finally, the Orchestra of Storms, The Fantastic World of Jean Rollin, that's an 8. So this was more of a stream as a test for my new setup, which it's getting dark, but I don't mind. This might be a perfect shot. It's a little wide, but who doesn't like a little wide boy? So that was the stream for today. It's good being back on again. I missed doing these streams. I'll definitely try to do them more often in 2023. Again, there are some there with school. There are some times where I just can't do it. I don't have enough time, but in the past few weeks, I've kind of been I had more time. Now I shot some videos, blah blah blah. Hey Peppa, Happy New Year! I know in Britain it's probably already the 2nd, but don't worry, I'll actually, now that YouTube has a different section for live stream videos and shorts, I don't mind posting the VOD publicly. So if you missed this, by the way, you didn't miss anything. I just basically shat on everything, and again, these live streams are just me getting myself in trouble, and I think I shot on Halloween, I shot on Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I shot on Scream, I just shot on everything, and I shot on slashers as a whole, which is one of my favorite genre actually. It's just, you know, there's no pretension here. I don't pretend that fucking The Mutilator is high art. Shut the fuck up, Peppa. One day when this channel eventually dies, I'll just start doing shit porn. I know Urshel will buy it if ever I do it, so at least there's that. Well, thank you again, people, and before I leave, again, Happy New Year. I wish you health, wealth, and sex. Lots of it. And I hope you keep supporting me, because this year was huge, as an ex-president would say. And let's hope the next year gets me bigger, harder, and stronger. Which is hard to get, because the older I'm getting, the less erect I'm getting. I should cut this stream before saying anything else. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Have a good week. And have a good year. Not the tires, but actually a good year. Pussy out. Blah.